Hi guys, welcome to the channel.
Good morning.
Today we're going to be fitting the new freshly powder coated rear body to the Landrover, and we've got some other jobs to do as well. We've got wheel arches to put on, I've got a diesel heater coming which we might be able to mock up and get it in position. We've got a transmission cooler to fit. We've got a few jobs to do, and I'll give you a bit of an update on the cab roof and the back panel because I was hoping to have them painted. And we haven't quite got there yet, but we've changed the plan with that, so I'll explain all that in a minute.
All in motion. It's happening.
Right, we've got to get the rear body.
We'll go get the bits and bobs and we'll get started.
Good morning. I've got the trailer hooked up to the Silverado, and we're going to go get the powder coated rear body from CJ Powder Coaters in Grimsby. We'll go pick that up now. I'll see you guys when we get there. So guys, this is old stuff I've just got back from the powder coaters. I thought I'd show you over. This is we use CJ Powder Coaters in Grimsby, and they always really make a really nice job of it. And the finish is excellent. Forward to getting this on the truck.
Look at her in all her powder coated glory. Look at that.
It looks really good, doesn't it?
It looks nice, that. Bob on.
So there's the rear body. It looks really good. Powder Coat's done a great job. First job is we're going to fit the headboard onto the rear body, because when it's on the truck we won't be able to get to the bolts. So right, we'll get that fitted. So guys, I'm going to use these bolts with a square little portion there. I'm going to file a square into the steel, and then we won't have to hold the spanner on the other side because it'll be located in there. So this is the hole. We're filing the holes out square to match the bolts, and they should drop in there. Fit lovely and flush. We've just got to repeat that 3 more times, and then we'll be good to go. So I'm just tapping out all these holes in the back to metric 8. We've made ourselves a tap extension so we can do it easy, and Brendan's just putting grease in all the holes we've drilled and all the threads to help prevent any corrosion moving forward. So all these holes, there's greased inside everywhere. We'll have the headboard on in a second. So we think with the heating process it's just slightly twisted or moved all the steel work. So we're clamping these two together, and we're going to use the punch to line both sides up, and then we'll be able to get the bolts in. Yeah. It's very heavy, isn't it? Well, it's not, it doesn't weigh a ton, but it. Carry it for an hour. So we've got the rear body mounted. It has two fixing points at the front, and then there's 4 bolts underneath that are captive in that steel. And then we've got all these bolts across the rear cross member, and that rear box section is tapped to M8. They're the rear lights. They're mounted into the actual frame, we've welded the brackets in the frame. I like the lights, they're not actually truck lights, they're off a motorbike, so it's like the smoke look, it's not like red and orange, is it? Next job is going to be these wheel arches. So I was going to paint the original green wheel arches we had, and then I found these online which were gloss black and ready painted, and they're black obviously all the way through because they're plastic. I thought if we do paint the green ones and it chips off, it's not going to look very good.
Yeah, whereas these are solid all the way through.
Yeah, it should stand to it a bit better. So guys, this is the next day. We ran out of time, so I'll show you how far we've got. So we've got it all bolted on. You can see those bolts, they're sort of half tucked behind there, so we couldn't use anything else in there. The wheel arches, I really like these, I think they look great actually. And the colour match is really good. So yeah, super happy with those. I'll put some little reflectors on the back corners. We have to have them in the UK, little reflectors. Yeah. I think it's getting there slowly. I'll show you what I'm up to now. I'm going to run a different heating system in this truck from normal. So normally it would have a heater box that runs off the engine, and I'm going to run this one on a 2 kilowatt diesel heater. There's a couple of reasons. Just get around that post. In the summer, you seem to get hot air all the time out of the Landrover anyway, so even when you want it cooler, it's still hot. And in the winter, the hot doesn't seem quite as good as it should be. So you end up pretty cold. So the thinking is, if we run a little 2 kilowatt diesel heater, we can have the heating on before we even start the engine, keep the truck warm, it'll make it nicer to use. I'm going to fit it down there, run the exhaust underneath, and I don't know if at any point we could tie it into the truck's exhaust system. I don't know if that'd work or not work, or cause it to cause a vacuum through the heater, or I don't know if anyone's got any information on that, but I don't know. I think it's going to be one of them things you just try and hope it works or doesn't cause an issue. So these are the heaters. I ordered a 2 kilowatt one and they sent me a 5 by mistake, and I tried to get the 5 to fit, but it just wasn't going to work. It's just too tight. So I ordered a 2 from somewhere else and got a 2 kilowatt. But what I did, I used the T-piece, cut it, and then plastic welded it and then cut that piece off so that I can get a really tight elbow and it can sit on there and not be in the way of the exhaust. So I did all this altering this, so we've got a bit of space, but I haven't actually tested the heater yet. That's probably a bit of a mistake. I should have run the heater first to make sure it actually works before I start chopping it about, but it's too late now. And my plan is we'll try and plump it up, see if I can get it to fire up and blow air through the vents before we go any further. And if it works, and we'll try and see how far it'll go. So, we'll get on with that. So I'm about halfway through this heater installation. I've got the plate mounted and I've got the air intake pipe, comes from underneath, round the side. I've got the little electric clicky clacky fuel pump mounted up there, and then as you saw earlier, that's my homemade outlet, and then I've got to make it into the fit it into the dashboard. So I'm going to do that now and then figure out the exhaust routing, and then we'll see if we can fire it up. So guys, this is how it's set up. I decided to put the little lift pump at this angle here just to keep everything with the heater, so because I sort of toyed with the idea of putting it on the other side, because that's the side the fuel pipe's going to come up. I've just rigged it temporarily with this green hose down to this jerry can. The reason I've left that really long is because I want to make sure that that little pump could pump from the tank, and it can, no problem. So that all seems good. So I'm going to set the camera up and then turn it on, and this will be the first startup. I've primed it. I have used these heaters before, and I've got a few that we use in camper vans and bits and bobs, and they've always been really good. I'll just show you guys on this particular control. If you just hold the up and down together, you can hear the little pump just runs away. So if you ever run them out of diesel, that's all you've got to do is just hold up and down. Right, I'll set the camera up and then we'll start it up. Right, let's see if it goes. They always take a minute to start. There we go. So it's just started now. This is the little closure plate I've made for the air intake. So the hot air comes out of there and then straight into the original Landrover heating system. It's just starting to get going now. It's hard to tell, but we've got lovely hot air coming out of those heater vents now, and out of those heater vents. Much warmer than you get with the Landrover heating system, even after sort of 20 minutes of running. So that'll demist the windscreen and keep the cab lovely and warm. It's cleaned up a little bit now. They always splutter and cough a bit when they first get going. Yeah, it seems to be working perfectly. And the good thing is, at the minute it's just set on a level 4, but you'll be able to set the temperature in the cab. So if you wanted it at 22 or 18 or wherever you want to set it, you can set it, and it'll just maintain temperature like a climate control system. So that'll be pretty cool for Land Rover. So the heater's just shutting itself down now. There is the exhaust to finish, and I don't know whether to try and route it through there and out through the step, or to connect into the vehicle's exhaust system, into the truck's exhaust. It's going to be pretty free flowing, the exhaust on this truck. There's not going to be much in the terms of silencer. I just don't know if it's a good idea to connect into there, so if anybody knows if that's possible, that would be helpful. the cab roof, I've lined the inside in dodo mat and then carpeted it in 4-way stretch carpet. Then I can paint all the edges in black, and then once I've painted the top half, I don't have to flip it back over again and work on the underneath. I did put some extra aluminium ribs internally, and we've got some rivets running acrossways and downways to make a cross in the roof to try and make it a little bit less, the panel a little bit less wobbly, a bit stiffer, because it was really flexible before. And I've dollied all the dints out of this rear panel and got it prepped in primer, both sides, ready for flattening off, and then another coat of primer, and then paint. So with painting this truck, I was speaking to a few paint shops locally. I have bought one of the inflatable spray booths, because by the time I bought the spray booth and bought the paint, it's about the same cost as painting it. So I thought, if I do that, then I've got the painting booth for the next project, if I can make it look good. If not, it'll have to go to the paint shop anyway. So, and last thing I think is all the paint. So I've got all the paint from Paintman Paints, and they're Landrover specialists really. So we'll be able to do a bit of a review on that when we do the paint. I've painted some with it and it seems really nice, the spray cans. They don't seem like a normal spray can. A bit more like one of the turbo cans. So we'll see. Oh, and one last thing. I've got my brand new turbo rebuilt by Fox Revolution turbos. We're going to be fitting that and fitting the fuel pump and the front timing case and all those bits on, so hopefully in the next video we'll be able to see the engine running, and maybe even moving a little bit forward and backward and bits and bobs like that. Start building the exhaust. So we're coming to the end of this video. I've got the wood coming this week, the end of this week, for the deck. I've got some other bits and bobs coming to finish off the interior of the truck. I've got the front wings, the roof, cab roof, and the rear panel to paint. I'm going to film doing that in the inflatable spray booth. Hopefully you guys will get a view of that and see what you think of these spray booths. I've never used one of these inflatable booths before, so that'll be a first. Hopefully we can get a really good finish. If you enjoy the build of this truck, please consider subscribing. It's going to help the channel grow and we can build more projects. Thank you.